Vegas Massacre say he enjoyed playing violent video games. In particular, they say he played this game called StarCraft. You see it right there, and the question, of course, whether or not there is a link between games like this and real-life violence. I want to bring Elizabeth Cohen to talking about this. And Elizabeth, there have been numerous studies that have actually showed that there could be a link in terms of behavior in watching these violent games. What do we know?
They're conflicting. They say different things. So there are some studies that say there isn't a link. You can play these violent video games. There's no indication it's going to make you violent. Then there are other studies that suggest there might be a link. And there was one that was really interesting that I'll just give you as an example. So this one had a bunch of people play violent video games, and then some people played non-violent video games. And then the researchers staged a fight. Some guys came in and fought, and it looked like it was for real. The kids, or the people who've been watching the violent video game, they were less likely to help out, to jump in and try to help out. And then they realized it's because they sort of didn't consider it to be so serious.
Yeah, desensitized.
Right,
in a way.
desensitized, because they've been watching all this violence. But it's very conflicting. It's really hard to say definitively what the studies say.
There are millions of kids, there are millions of adults who I'm sure who are playing games, and they never go out and kill anybody or shoot anybody. I mean, what is the difference? Do they have any idea between somebody who actually watches these violent games and goes out and acts on them?
Right, that's the key. That's the key, because I know there are parents sitting here watching this saying, well, my child watches these all the time and they're perfectly fine. That may be true. It may be that certain children are more vulnerable, certain children with certain behavioral issues, with certain psychiatric issues. The problem is we just don't know. So all you can do, given this sort of messy situation with conflicting science, is to be an empowered parent. Be a smart parent.
So should you be worried? I mean, if your kid is out there, and especially with the violent games, should there be some sort of limitation, or even kids who are too young to ban them from playing those kinds of games early on?
If I think some parents would just say no violent video games at all. Forget it, you're not going to do it. Some parents would say, I let them see some violent movies. What's wrong with playing a violent video game every so often? Well, if you want to do that, this is what you have to do. You have to know the rating and watch it yourself. Go online and watch it. Watch what your kids are going to do. It's very easy. Limit the use to common family space. Watch them play it in the living room. Do not put a console in their bedroom. You should see it. And also monitor your child. Are they having problems? Are they fighting in school? Pay attention to your kid.
All right, pay attention to your kid. And that's a very, very important lesson as we go to Newtown, Connecticut again for the very latest. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's going to take a quick break.